Welcome to the Bolts Breakdown Podcast. This is a podcast for fans, by fans. My name is Boomer.
And my name is Tommy.
And today we are talking about Tampa Bay Lightning contracts and the roster. It's kind of like a roster overview. Mm-hmm. So trade clauses, how much money do people make, et cetera, et cetera. That's what we're going to be talking about today.
It sounds a little bit boring when we say like trade clauses and all this kind of stuff, but it does determine who the heck plays on our team.
There is. And we got a bunch of free agents we got to talk about.
I know.
Who's going to be on this next season's team. But
I know.
Before we get any of there, as we will do throughout the offseason, we have some Lightning news to cover.
Oh, really?
I don't know if you know
it. No, I don't know.
We re-signed 2 players.
Really?
We did.
Okay.
Nick Abruzzese.
I don't know who that is. No.
And Max Groshev, maybe. You know who that is?
I've heard of him.
He played 2 games for us this past year. He made his NHL debut.
Okay.
They're depth guys.
Okay.
They play in the AHL. Actually, Nick Abruzzese was our 5th highest point scorer in the AHL.
Okay.
So he's pretty decent.
He's pretty good.
And Groshev was drafted as a forward, but now he plays defense for us. So there's a little bit of excitement around him.
Guys who maybe we'll see on the actual Lightning squad in like a few years, or
maybe they're like super fringe players.
Okay.
Like honestly, there's not you don't really see a path for these guys to get to the Lightning.
Sure.
Just based off of who we have. Like we have Connor Geeky coming up. Like we have this Sam O'Reilly kid coming up, and there's already a jam-packed roster. So will they make it? I don't know.
See.
But they're depth guys, and we re-signed him, so Julian Breezeball is alive.
Yeah.
He's working on Darren Radish. I'm sure he is.
Okay. We'll see. We'll see.
But so Lightning news. Every episode, if there is something to talk about, we'll talk about it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So to kick us off, Tommy, about the important stuff, I'm going to ask you. So we have 4 real free agents that we got to discuss for the Lightning. That's Darren Radish. He's a big one.
Yep.
Oliver Bjorkstrand.
Yep.
Declan Carlisle.
Okay.
And Corey Perry.
Okay.
Now there's more. There's like Mitchell Chafee, Scott Sabrin.
Yeah.
But they're probably not going to play in the NHL next year. So the 4 big ones: Carlisle, Radish, Corey Perry, Oliver Bjorkstrand.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, which of those are you hoping comes back, and which of those are you like, peace? Like I don't need to see you back in a Lightning jersey.
Yeah. So I mean, as I think about all those guys, even like a Scott Sabrin and Mitchell Chafee, and thinking about all the free agents, I'm always just wondering, when you get minutes, right? What do you do with them? And you only get so many minutes, right? And looking at those 4 guys and kind of where they are in their careers and all that kind of stuff is, I mean, I gotta hop on the bandwagon, on the train, and go ratty for the guy who I want to see, right? So you think about those 4 guys. Out of those guys, he is the one who, when he got his minutes, he got his play up. He scored goals. He contributed on defense. He did everything you needed him to do, really.
Right.
And I think that you could see with other guys who did get their minutes that they didn't do the same thing, right? And I think we got to see Darren Radish play way more minutes. I don't know all the stats, but way more minutes this year than he has in the past.
Most he's ever played for sure.
Yeah. And he also scored the most goals he's ever scored, right?
But with his production comes an added cost, right? So he's by and large the most money. We're going to have to pay him the most money of those 4.
Yeah.
But you're still saying bring him back?
I still say bring him back.
If I said 4 years at $7.5 million.
I don't know what that means.
So J.J. Moser makes $6.75 million. He's a great defenseman. Victor Hedman makes $8 million. I mean, is Darren Radish a $7.5 million defenseman? This is the first year he's ever done that, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's not for me to decide. That's for JBB to decide, I guess. But
you're willing to fork out a lot of money to keep Radish?
So here's the thing. I think that as a team, it's really hard to balance quantity and quality. You could tell from this year's Lightning team that we needed a good quantity of depth, right? We needed good depth players
because always important.
We had so many injured players, lots of sicknesses going on, and there were points in the year where we were playing like our 5th and 6th string guys pretty high up, especially on defense at the beginning of the season and the forwards at the end of the
like
season.
As I just said, Max Groshev got in 2 games, so he's pretty far down.
So it's crazy to think that. However, I think that it is the balance. It's the perfect balance. Because if you have too many really good quality players that are really expensive and you can't get depth, then you're kind of screwed. If they get sick or injured or something happens to them or they're not producing, right? I think we talked about Braden Point like this past week in recap, or maybe in our Game 7 recap of like, you know, who do we want to see more of? And it's the people who are paying a lot of money from. And so if we don't see the same production from Radish next year and we give him whatever, $7.5 million.
Right, that's the risk.
That is the risk. So I think that there needs to be a balance. And if we're going to pay some guys the big bucks, then we need to see them actually produce.
So that's the question. Is Radish the big bucks type of guy?
I think if you're the Lightning, realistically, you sign him to a really hefty 1-year deal. To see if he's the big bucks.
Sure.
But he's not going to go for that. He wants to go for a 3, 4, 5+ year contract where he's in for that money. And I don't know if the Lightning are willing to do that because they're probably not willing to sign him to that many years when the production hasn't necessarily been there. Not in a bad way. He just didn't have the time and the minutes, the opportunity.
Right.
So I think on the flip side of those 4 guys, I think a guy that I could definitely see go would be Corey Perry. And the reason I say that is because, I mean, where he is in his career is one piece of it, right? He moves around quite a bit anyways.
Yeah.
And he's sort of a fill the gaps kind of guy at this point in his career.
He's
right?
definitely a depth player.
He's definitely a depth player.
But to contrast that, he's spoken about how he wants to win a cup. So he's going to go to a cup contender. Mm-hmm. Like his old age, he needs to win a cup so his son can be with the cup. That's like his whole thing. But he's talked about that. But where else are you going to win a cup other than in Tampa Bay? I know we say that as
we're sitting here on the sidelines in the playoffs in the 3rd round or whatever. Like,
it gives him a good shot, though. And he's familiar with it. So I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back.
Sure, but I think everybody has a good reason to want to win the cup. And so everybody has that. We're just focusing on him, right?
Yeah, he's got a son.
We could talk about Darren Radish
Perry
having like a tiny baby and being like, he's going to win it for his family. And then we could go over to some other person and be like, they've never won it, or this would be redemption. Everybody's got their own story.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily buy the whole, like, you have a really big story that's going to get you to the cup. I do think you need people who are motivated, and so that's why you have to have people on your team who haven't won a cup before.
I get what you're saying. It is a little bit different. Darren Radish, so let me just say what Darren Radish said. They asked him about it during interviews. Like, hey, what you have a contract coming up, like, would you re-sign here?
Yeah.
And he said...
I remember him being vague or something,
He was very vague. He said,
okay.
It's still pretty early. I think I'm still trying to digest the season and the playoffs. You know, take some time and let the business side of it deal with itself. Like I said to the guys in there, it's kind of about enjoying being a dad now. I had him earlier in the season, but I get to enjoy spending time with my son now. So, yeah, just enjoy that and let the whole process play out by itself. Doesn't sound like a guy who's
Can you
resigning.
say non-committal?
Yeah.
In like more words?
To contrast that, like, so Radish has his son to win the cup for, but it's very different than Perry, he's like, his son's grown, he's playing hockey, like the dream is to let his son be around the cup. So they're different, and I see what you're saying, but so to cap up the Radish discussion, Julian Breesbaugh, the guy who holds all the cards, was also asked about Radish. And he said, I've already reached out to his agent. We've been in touch. As of yesterday, I just let him know, give me a little bit of time here. This was May 5th, he said this, so weeks ago.
Yeah.
He said, give me a little time here. Let us digest this loss, let the dust settle, and do our due diligence. We'll get back to you in a couple days with the type of opportunities we have for you. We're not going forward. That's what he told his agent. So... I mean, it doesn't sound hopeful. I don't know.
No, it doesn't.
It sounds like Radish is leaving.
Yeah.
And as much as I don't like that, as much as I want him to stay, or at the very least, let's trade him and get pieces for him, it sounds like he's going to be playing in a different city next year.
I think the Tampa Bay Lightning have historically, as if, I've been around forever or something, but have shown that they can pull guys out of nowhere.
Sure.
And they can make guys somehow into superstars, or even just to produce really well coming up through their system. And so that happens consistently. And when that happens, like you remember when we did actually win the cup, we expelled like half of our team because everybody was good. And I'm thinking of guys like Barclay Goodrow, Ross Colton, Alex Killorn, even
cap casualties.
Just people who like are playing so well. Even like guys like Zach Bogosian on the Wild, like so many of these guys who are still in the playoffs. and are playing on really good teams. Who, like Andre Palat, that's another one I'm thinking of.
He's not on a good team.
And he's not on a good team. I just mean, like, he is a leader on a team, whereas he was just another dude on the Lightning. Like, another good dude, but, like, another dude. And so I think the Lightning have this thing of, like, leaders will come out of their squad and they'll just go other places. And so you're kind of dealing with, like, how do you deal with all the best guys? And it's not because of you have a higher cap limit than other people. It's because you're a good system and you're a good team and you're consistently showing up and being there. And so I honestly don't really have that much concern. If we don't sign Radish, I'm like, okay, we'll just find somebody else.
Make your prediction of the 4. How many are coming back with the Bolts?
Okay,
just one?
So
none?
It was Radish.
Carlisle, Bjorkstrand, Perry.
Out of the 4, I say 1.
And it's Radish?
No. I just say 1.
Just 1, okay.
I'm not going to commit. I'm going to do a Radish and not commit. Okay? I'm going to just say 1. I don't know which of the 1, but out of those 4, I can see maybe one of them showing up next year.
All right. Team. My prediction.
Okay.
I think none come back. Yeah,
none.
I don't think any of them come back.
None.
I'd like to see Carlisle come back. Of all of the 4, if we're ignoring Radish. Like, my caveat with Radish is I need him to come back at a good deal. Like, I don't want to be paying him more than J.J. Moser. And if he can't do that, then as unfortunate as hard as it is, like I say, let him walk.
Do that.
He's not going to do that. So that's why I'm saying 0. I'd like to sign Carlisle too. I think he's a depth piece, and I think it takes a while for defensemen to really come into their own game.
Yeah.
I mean, Radish, in 2024, he was an unrestricted free agent, and we signed him to his 3rd contract. Yeah. That was this past contract that he blew up. Yeah. And Carlisle would be signing his 3rd contract with Tampa Bay. So I would like to see him come back. I mean, who knows? He might also test the waters and say, hey, I want to play more. I don't want to be the 9th defenseman in Tampa Bay. Like, I'd rather make a little bit more money and play for San Jose or whoever.
Yeah. I could see that too. I think it's hard because as a fan, you don't think about these guys who are, frankly, any professional athlete that's at this level now is in the top, 0.1% of earners, right, in the country. And being just a normal middle class folk, it's funny to think about these different contracts where guys are like, oh, are you making like 100 or like $1 million, or are you making like $7 million? And then I look at the NBA and those guys are making like $50 million. Yeah. It's like unfathomable amounts of money. And so it's kind of funny to me because I think about a guy like Stamkos who leaves, goes to Nashville, contract, blah, blah, blah. There's probably a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. But I'm like, why would you want to leave Tampa? Like, you've been here for so long, and like everybody like enjoys being in Tampa. Like Patty Maroon always talks about on the show, pregame or postgame, during games, about how much he loves Tampa, and he's like, why would anybody else want to go anywhere else? And he's here. He won a cup in St. What was it, St. Louis?
St. Louis, right? Yeah.
And he's here in Tampa, and he's like, I just love it here. And so I always think like a Tampa bias. I'm like, I love Tampa. You got downtown. You got the guys living on Davis Island. Like, you got the sun.
It's the best city on earth. And best team, best city.
And you're like, why would you want to go anywhere else? But of course, you want to. There's guys like Sergachev who they want to make a name for themselves. They want to be leaders on their team.
Well, we traded him, so he didn't have a choice. But.
Well, yeah, but he also
was
behind the scenes.
Yes.
I guess there was talk about him wanting to go somewhere else.
He wanted to be the guy.
Yeah,
he wasn't the guy in Tampa. Yeah.
But
all right, Tommy, we got another game this week for you. Mm-hmm. This is all about contracts. So the idea is that we're learning about the contracts. And if you want more information, like the best way for you to have all the information is in the blog. Mm-hmm. Like, it's all in the blog. And I'm going to try and get to most of it through these questions I'm asking you. But if you want more of it,
I'm not very good with numbers, so we're going to
Well, it's not necessarily numbers. So have you ever played Two Truths and a Lie?
Yes.
You know what that game is?
Yep.
Basically, if you've never heard of the game, there's going to be, I'm going to say 3 statements, and 2 of them are true, 1 of them is false. And you're going to have to tell me which one's false.
I got to pick it out. Okay.
So you ready to play?
Yeah, I'm ready. All right.
Your first question. Here are the 3 statements.
Okay.
Nikita Kucherov has a 10-team no-trade list for 26-27 next season. Yanni Gourde has 5 seasons remaining on his contract. And Eric Chernak has a full no-trade clause for the rest of his contract.
Okay.
You got to tell me which one of those is not true.
Okay, so I have no idea. But I am going to take an educated guess as understanding these players well. Chernak having a full no-trade clause for the rest of his contract. I feel like that's true. I also feel like Kucherov is a little bit particular. And so having a 10-team no-trade list for 26-27 also kind of makes sense to me. So I'm going to go Yanni Gourde has 5 seasons remaining on his contract. That is a lie.
Wrong.
Ooh.
Eric Chernak has a full no-trade clause until, like, this season's up. It's technically June 15th.
Okay. How long is his contract up in?
He's got, I think, 5 years, so 1 year at a full no trade, and then the last 4 are a 16-team no trade list.
Okay.
So we can trade him to half of the league without asking him. If we have to trade him to one of those 16 teams, we got to get his permission.
Okay.
So.
Well, that's crazy because just recently, me and Sarah were I don't know, watching Eric Chernak or thinking about him or something like that, and realized that the dude is like 28.
Yeah, he's young.
And I was like, I'm 27. I'm like, he's my age? What the heck? I thought this guy was like in his mid-30s. You know, you look at him and you're like, oh, he's in his mid. No, he's young. You're like, wow. So he's been on the team because he's been on the team for a while now.
Yeah.
So I expected him
and Anthony Cirelli, like you kind of think they're older than they are, but they're not that old.
Cirelli's early 30s.
No, he's
what
the
is he,
same age
late
as Chernak.
20s, 29 or something?
Yeah, I think he's 27 or 28. I can't remember.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, guys, exactly what I mean.
All right, so you have no points.
Are we doing points again?
Yeah, we're keep your score. I mean, everyone else is playing against you. I already did these questions with Jordan, my wife, and she got 6.
Okay.
So you're falling behind here. All right, second question.
I don't think I'm going to do very well.
All right. First statement, Jake Gensel has a full no movement clause in 26-27, next season. Anthony Cirelli has 5 years remaining on his current contract. Nick Paul has no trade protection next season. Which one of those statements is not true?
Which one is the lie? I say the lie is... I'm literally just taking complete shots in the dark at this point. So
go for it.
This is not great, but I am going to say that Tony Cirelli 5 years
is the lie.
That's a lie.
Nick Paul does have trade protection. So a lot of people are calling for like Nick Paul. You got to trade him. You can't just trade him because he's got a 16-team no trade list. Where if we want to trade him to those clubs, we have to ask him.
Oh my gosh. So, okay. Wow.
These guys are 0 for 2, Tommy.
Makes sense. I think I might be 0 for however many you give me.
2.
I'm not going to even lie right now. I'm not going to lie.
Third one. First statement, Victor Hedman is not the highest paid defenseman on the team.
Okay.
Ryan McDonough has a no movement clause throughout the remainder of his contract, which is 3 years. And J.J. Moser is the longest signed Bolt on the roster. Which one of those is not true?
Got a little double negative maybe going on here. We'll see. So J.J. Moser just signed a contract this year, contract extension.
Yep.
And so from what I remember, it's pretty darn long. And so I'm not going to go that one. Highest paid defenseman on the team. Are we talking like average?
Yeah, average annual value. Yep.
Okay. I'm going to go that is the lie. I think he is the highest paid.
Bingo.
There we go. Okay.
You got a point.
I got one.
Yeah. He makes $8 million, which is the highest paid defenseman on the team.
Okay. Got it.
So
got it.
The next closest is actually J.J. Moser now at 6.75.
And he signed for how many years?
8 years.
8 years. So that's what, 2034?
Yes.
Wow.
So he's here for a long time. He's the longest signed Bolt on the roster. So you're looking to get a jersey. J.J. Moser ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, get a Moser jersey.
All right. Let's do the fourth one.
Okay.
So Braden Point has a full no-move clause for his 4 remaining seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Hagel makes $6.5 million AAV, average annual value, for the next 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
Emil Lilleberg will be a restricted free agent after this season.
Okay. I think Emil Lilleberg will be a restricted free agent. Brandon Hagel's money, Braden Point, full no movement clause for his 4 remaining seasons. That just feels super complicated. I'm going to go Braden Point. All right.
Got 2 points.
Yeah. I got 2.
Braden Point does not have a full no movement. No movement basically means he can't be traded. He can't be sent to the minors. Like, he's not moving.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have that. But he does have it this year. But after this season, it switches to a 10-team no trade list.
Okay.
Basically, again, it's just saying he's giving the Lightning 10 teams that you're not allowed to trade me to. If you want to trade me to these 10 teams, you have to get my permission first.
Do you ever know?
No, we can't figure it out.
No, you can't figure it out?
No, it's not publicized.
So, okay, I want to ask you a question now because
Sure.
I get to ask the questions. What is that from? That's from something. Anyways, probably The Office or something. If you had let's just make it easy and simple. Let's say 5-team.
Oh, I'm not getting traded?
You get a 5-team, no move or whatever it's called, right? You can't get traded to these without permission. What are your 5 teams that you're choosing
That's
that you're
easy.
not getting traded
Florida Panthers,
Yeah.
Toronto Maple Leafs,
Yeah.
Boston Bruins, Buffalo Sabres, Ottawa Senators.
to? So you're
Done.
like,
Done.
Atlantic Division, absolutely not.
Yeah,
Okay.
you give me another one, Detroit Red Wings. I'm not going to the Atlantic Division. I hate those guys.
Okay, so no Atlantic Division for you. That's funny.
All right, let's go to the next one.
Okay.
Andre Vasilevsky has 2 seasons left on his deal.
Mm-hmm.
Max Crozier has 2 seasons left on his deal. And Pontus Holmberg has 2 seasons left on his deal. Which one is a lie?
Ooh, I like how you went the same with all of these. That's exciting. So I'm pretty sure I have no idea. So I'm taking a random guess again.
That's good. Part of this is just helping people learn like these random facts and these things that like
I'm
a lot of
like-
times I'll talk with fans and they'll be like, how many years does he have left in his contract? Or how much does he make again? And that's kind of the idea behind the blog this week and this week's episode.
Yeah,
so
'cause
we're
I'm
learning.
like- I'm
You're
like-
about to learn who
I'm
has
like-
2 seasons.
Well, 2 of these guys do. So I'm gonna go Holmberg.
Wow, you are on a roll with
Let's
guessing.
go. 3 in a row.
Pontus Holmberg only has 1 year left on his deal.
Okay,
So he
good.
can actually sign an extension as of July 1st. So
Okay.
he's one of the, there's 9 players on the Lightning that can sign an extension this year.
Yeah.
8 can sign it on July 1st, and then Destu has to wait till January 1st. But
Okay.
I'm hoping all of those guys extend. We'll see.
No, we have some good players. So that's 3 for me.
3 points.
Wow, in a
Jordan
row.
got 6. And
How many do we have
everyone else
left?
will let you know how,
How many do we
much.
have left?
There's 5 more. There's 10 total.
Oh no.
All right. 6th one. Dominic James will be a restricted free agent after this season. Gage Gonsalves has a 10-team no-trade list for the 26-27 season. And Charles-Edouard Destu signed a 1-year extension for 26-27. Which one is not true?
Ooh. Based on a little maybe possibly clue you gave me, I'm gonna go to Stu here.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to mislead you. Gage Gonsalves,
Dang it.
as much as I'd like him
Dang
to
it.
have trade protection,
Dang it.
has no trade protection.
Okay.
So he does not have anything. He can be waived. He can be sent to the minors. He can be traded without his approval.
So, your buddy
Tough
might
world.
just go at any moment.
He's not going to go, but he could.
I mean, yeah, he could.
All right, the 7th one. Zemgus Girgensons has no trade protection next season. Pontus Holmberg has no trade protection next season. And Emil Lilleberg has no trade protection next season.
So one of these guys has trade protection.
Yep. 2 of them are
Gergie,
vulnerable.
Holmberg, and Lilleberg.
Yep.
One of them is protected.
Some form of protection. That could be a 10-team no-trade list. It could be a
Help.
16-team. It could be a full no-trade.
So help me understand, just from like a, I don't know, fan's perspective, of how all of these contracts are complicated, right?
Yeah.
There's so much that goes into these contracts. And for these guys, is it more so about the team or is it about the player as far as if they get no trade protection? And what I mean is like, is it the player being like, hey, I want protection
see.
to not get traded? Or is it the team being like, we don't want you to get
A
traded?
lot of times it's a advantageous thing that the players ask for. It's like, hey, we'll offer you 8 years, $8 million, or we'll offer you 8 years, $7 million, but we'll give you a no-trade list or whatever. So it's like, it's things the players can argue for and ask for, because obviously no one wants to be traded. Like, nobody wants to pack up all their stuff and their family and move to a different city.
Yeah.
There's like security in knowing that you have a trade list,
Yeah.
whether that be a 10-team or 16-team or a full.
That
or,
you know you're not going to go to Florida or
Right.
Detroit.
At the
or
very least, you
Ottawa.
can say, "Hey, I hate this city, and I'm not going there."
Yeah.
And it puts all the power for the player, because
Yeah.
the team cannot trade the player there unless the player approves it.
Yeah, see, that makes sense.
It doesn't mean anything concrete. Like, I can still, you have a 10-team trade list, and you don't want to go to Florida. If I'm the team, I can still say, "Hey, we'd like to send you to Florida. Will you waive it?" And then the player can say, "Yeah, I'll waive it." And
Or they could say no.
or they can say no and they don't leave. That actually happened this year during the trade deadline, the team, I think it was the Blues, trying to send a player to somewhere, and it was on this trade list, and he vetoed it. He said, "I'm not going," and so the trade didn't go through.
Yeah,
but somebody leaked it before it went public, because most times the player's like, "Ouch, you want me out?" Like, whatever, we're traded.
Yeah.
But the player can vetoed it, and he did.
Okay.
Right,
so that makes way more sense. However, I'm still taking a wild guess at this question. And so who has trade protection? I'm going to go ahead and say that Zemgus Girgensons has no trade protection.
No.
Or has trade protection.
Yeah,
has trade protection.
Yeah, Zemgus Girgensons does have trade protection. He has a 16-team no-trade list this season. So he can be traded, but it's harder to trade him.
So I'm at 4, right?
4 points.
And I just
There's
realized I had
3
this
questions left.
Anyways, okay, 3 questions left. So I have 4 points. So I need to get all 3 to beat Jordan.
Yep.
But 2 will tie me.
Yep.
Okay.
Nikita Kucherov makes the most money on the team, or tied. He's at the top. Braden Point makes the most money on the team, or tied. At the top. Jay Gensel makes the most money on the team, or tied.
I'll kick myself if I don't say Nikita Kucherov right now.
You think Nikita Kucherov does not make the most team? Because one of these is a lie.
One of these is a lie. That's right.
I'm saying these 3
three
players make the most. One of them doesn't.
Gensel.
Final answer?
Final answer.
You got a point.
Let's go.
Jake Gensel makes $9 million. Braden Point and Nikita Kucherov make $9.5
million.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Let's go to the ninth one.
5. No.
5 points.
5 points. 5 points. Yep. Okay.
One
more to tie.
Andre Vasilevsky has a full no trade clause next season. Mm-hmm. Anthony Cirelli has a full no trade clause next season. And Brandon Hagel has a full no trade clause next season. So, 2 truths, 1 lie. Which one's the lie?
Which one is the lie? One of these guys does not have a full no trade clause. Ooh, that's tough. These are some stellar guys that we have on the team. I can't say Vasilevsky with confidence, so I'm going to go ahead and say Brandon Hagel.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Andre Vasilevsky is actually not fully protected.
Wow.
He has a 10-team no-trade list, and actually Nikita Kucherov has a 10-team no-trade list too.
They're probably the same team.
That's, could be.
The Russian buddies.
There's 22 teams that the Lightning could trade Nikita Kucherov or Andre Vasilevsky to without player consent. Just see ya.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
I can't see that happening.
Kind of crazy.
Yeah.
All right, ready? Final one.
Okay. So I need this one in order to tie Jordan.
Yes, to tie Jordan. You're at 5 points.
Okay.
And everybody else that's playing. There's going to be a lot of people that message me, and I'll just tell you. But there's going to be a lot of people that say, like, I crushed Tommy, or Tommy crushed me.
I'm sure.
All right, ready? Gage and Salvis will make more in next season than Dominic James. That's one statement. Chardwar Destu will make more next season than Zemgus Girgensons. Pontus Holmberg will make more next season than Yanni Gord. So this one's hard. You got to kind of evaluate who's making...
Compare the players to each other.
Who's making the most money here.
Okay, so looking through this, one of these is a lie. The other 2 are true. Right? So I think that Gage Gonzalez will make more than Dom James. Okay. So I think that's true.
Okay.
Destu and Girgensons. I don't know if I see Destu making more than Girgensons. Even though Girgensons is more of a depth player, Destu is actually more like at this point, he's kind of a top 4 defenseman on our team, depending on who's healthy, I suppose, and who's actually playing. Pontus Holmberg making more than Yanni Gord. That's also tough because those are depth players as well.
It's a tough question.
Yeah, which one is the lie? I'm going to go ahead and say that the lie is... Jordan, I really hope I get this one right, but we shall see. I'm going to go say Destu Girgensons. I got to just guess.
Oh, what happened, dude?
And it's gone. I'm going to say Holmberg. Wait, I'm going to say Holmberg.
No. All right. Pontus Holmberg does not make more than Yanni Gord. It is, he makes 1.55 and Yanni Gord makes 2.33.
1.55.
So it's close. Yeah, 1.55 million. Basically $1.5 million, and Yanni Gord makes just over $2 million. But
so Destu makes more than Girgensons?
Yeah, that's surprising. Girgensons is like I think he's 3rd least on the team.
Wow.
Yeah.
I am kind of surprised about
It's
that.
very surprising. So in the blog, if you are interested in who makes the most, there is like an actual list where I rank all of the players. So
Oh, really?
yeah, I'll pull that up right now. Yeah, he's 19th of 21 players.
Okay,
so.
Destu is literally like 25K next to him. Did you
25K
pick the guys
ahead
who were
of
like
him.
right next to each
Yeah,
other?
it was a hard question, but it's kind of crazy to think Char Edwards too, who couldn't get an NHL contract until last year, makes more than like an 11-year veteran in Zemgus Girgensons.
Yeah,
right?
that is kind of crazy.
Zemgus Girgensons was drafted in like 11th overall once upon a time.
Wow.
He's like the best Latvian NHLer ever. He's up there. There's not many of them.
Yeah,
So.
there's not that many. But
Char Edwards too makes more than him.
yeah.
So
well,
it's kind of crazy to think about.
I took a completely blind guess at all 10 of your questions today versus last time where I felt like I had a little more information. So this was really just a coin flip for me. But
you got 5
at least
points.
I've learned
so
a lot.
If you beat Tommy, send me a message. If Tommy beat you, send me a message. I don't. Some of this information is so niche, and it's but it's still interesting to us as Lightning fans, right? Like, who knew Andrei Vasilevsky and Nikita Kucherov have 22 teams they can be traded to? Like, that's kind of a big deal.
It's
right?
kind of scary. I feel like during the season, you see guys, doing having rough seasons, or maybe rough stretches in the season, right? And I can even remember. At the end of this season, right? We lose our last game and everybody's freaking out, we fire everybody kind of thing. And I remember seeing somebody talk about John Cooper. And obviously John Cooper is like, he's different than all the players are, but he was basically saying, like, if you're saying anything about John Cooper, anything that's not like flowers and roses and like, this is the best coach ever, then... yeah, you should be ashamed, essentially. They were like, then you are not paying attention, because John Cooper is probably, over the last 10 years, one of the top 2 or 3 coaches in the entire league the entire time.
Right.
I mean, look at the team. He coaches Team Canada.
He has an argument for best coach ever.
I mean, he's definitely, if John Cooper stays on what he's been doing for the next 5-10 years now, I could see him definitely being in those best ever.
Right.
So, but anyways, not a player. John Cooper, maybe we'll talk about him later, but I just wanted to mention that I was like, lots of people do that. They get scared and they want to dump everybody, but we have a good team, and I don't necessarily think shoving everybody and throwing them away and saying whatever is the best idea. So
but some people you can't. Some people have no movement clauses, like Victor Hedman. People are upset with him. Well, he has a no movement clause, so he's not going anywhere unless Victor Hedman says, yeah, I'm okay to go somewhere. So
there you go.
Anyways, Tommy, let's Eastern Conference Final, Western Conference Finals. They start. Western Conference was last night. Eastern Conference is tonight. Mm-hmm. Let's check in on our brackets and see what we do. We'll check in on our second brackets, okay?
I just don't feel good about any of this.
So we both had the Wild and the Hurricanes in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yep.
I mean, it's not super far off. 3 of 4 are correct for me, and you have 2 of 4 for the conference finals. Mm-hmm. If you're not watching this, so let me explain. So Boomer has the Canadiens, the Hurricanes. That's correct. That's the matchup. And in the Western Conference, I had the Wild and the Knights. And it's obviously the Avalanche and the Knights.
Why did we choose the Wild, Boomer?
Tommy had the Sabres in the Canadiens, which is wrong. And he had the Wild and the Knights. So 2 for 4 for Tommy, 3 for 4 for Boomer. We both had Wild and Hurricanes in the final, except Boomer picked the Hurricanes and Tommy picked the Wild.
So your winner is still technically in it with your second chance bracket, and my winner was already eliminated. So, I mean, I don't know. I think brackets, I'm bad at them, but I guess everybody's
you hit what, like 6-8 in the first round, though?
First round was good, but I don't have a winner in there, so
all that good say. I want to ask you, give me your picks. So Western Conference Final, Eastern Conference Final, who's gonna win? You're allowed to change it now. We know new information. Who do you got?
I'm staying with Carolina. In the East.
Okay, what about Western Conference? Who's winning? Vegas or Avalanche?
I gotta go Colorado.
Okay.
I mean,
and then you're saying Hurricanes over the Avalanche?
Ooh, that's a great question. Okay, first you tell me who you think is getting in out of those.
So I picked in my second chance bracket that we did a little bit ago, I picked the Hurricanes to beat the Habs. Mm-hmm. I'm switching it. I think the Habs are going to win in 6 maybe 7 games. Yeah.
Okay.
And in the Western Conference, I just like my head is saying Colorado. My heart is saying it's Vegas. So I'm sticking with my heart. I think it's Vegas and Montreal.
We're going completely opposite.
I literally changed everything.
Yeah, you changed everything. Okay, so you're saying Montreal versus Vegas. I'm saying Carolina versus Colorado.
We are polar opposites.
Completely opposite, which means one of us will be half wrong and the other will be half wrong.
What is your,
what happens.
Who's your Stanley Cup champion out of that?
Stanley Cup champion, I need to figure it out in my head, and I have no idea again, so I will take my blind shot in the dark and I will say Carolina is going to win the Stanley Cup this year.
Okay. I'm saying Montreal is going to win.
Wow.
I think Montreal is going to beat Vegas. Yeah, I think it's crazy. But this will make 3 years in a row, if I'm right, that the Lightning have lost to the Cup champs. So,
well, I mean,
the first round.
And if you watched the second round at all, then it was craziness at times.
Sure.
But again, a Game 7 where Montreal was outplayed and yet still won. And so
that's what I'm saying. They have the luck that's like destined. I don't know.
They have
it's
the destiny.
Magic.
Yeah, and I think when you win a cup, you have the destiny.
Sometimes the better team on paper isn't the better team on the ice, and you can't really explain it.
No.
Like sometimes it just happens that way.
Yep.
So, yeah, maybe Carolina has a better team on paper. They were the best team in the Eastern Conference. But it doesn't always translate to the ice. That's what I'm going to say.
And we shall see.
Yep. That's all we're going to have. Again, just housekeeping. If you like reading, there's a blog I release every single Monday. This week was about Lightning roster contracts, like an overview of our roster. There will be another one on Monday released. If you like that, you can subscribe for free. It's always free. And if you don't like reading, then you just listen to this podcast, and we will be here to talk with you every single Thursday morning. But that's all we're going to have for today. As always, go Bolts.
Go Bolts.